Everyone was puzzled about why a dog wouldn't leave a stranger's grave, but when they opened the grave, something amazing happened. It was a bright Sunday morning. The sun had chased the clouds away, shining its warm golden light all over Willowdale Cemetery. Birds were chirping, signaling the start of a new day, and the village slowly came to life. Nicole, a kind-hearted 17-year-old girl with long brown hair and eyes full of compassion, decided to visit her mother's grave, a ritual she followed every weekend. She walked through the cemetery, a bouquet of fresh flowers in her hands. Heading to her mother's resting place, Nicole was known in the village for her kindness and her love for animals. Her mother, Louise, who had passed away 5 years earlier from a rare disease, had been a strong, wise and loving woman. She was the village's only veterinarian and an aspiring environmentalist. Her passing left a deep void in Nicole's heart. Every weekend, Nicole would bring roses to her grave, feeling that this kept her mother's memory and legacy alive. As she approached her mother's grave, everything seemed peaceful, except for one thing. Nicole noticed Cooper, a friendly dog known to everyone in the village. Louise had cared for Cooper when he was a puppy, and Nicole had grown up with him. Although Cooper liked his freedom and lived on the streets, he was loved and cared for by the villagers. "Hello, Cooper. How are you, my friend?" Nicole greeted Cooper warmly, wondering what he was doing there. This visit, like all her visits, was a reminder of the love and respect her mother had taught her for animals and nature. Cooper's presence near her mother's grave only added to the sense of peace and continuity that Nicole felt in these moments of remembrance and connection. Cooper was a joyful and playful dog, adored by everyone for his loyalty and boundless energy. Although he didn't have a permanent home, the community cared for him, offering him the love and safety he needed. He was a beacon of hope and love in the village, a friend to everyone. But on this day, Cooper was acting differently. He lay next to a new grave, watchful and alert, as if on a special mission. Nicole, who had a deep bond with animals, noticed Cooper's tense and protective behavior. She tried to approach him gently, understanding that something was amiss. Speaking softly, she reassured Cooper, but he allowed her to come only so close, his gaze mixed with confusion and a plea for help. "What is going on, Cooper?" she said. As Nicole looked closer, she saw an unfamiliar name on the grave's marker. The surrounding grass was disturbed, and there were signs of Cooper's digging. Concerned, Nicole called the cemetery's caretaker for help. When Michael, the experienced cemetery worker, arrived, he was puzzled by the situation. Cooper had never been aggressive before. As Michael tried to approach the grave, Cooper became increasingly protective, growling and baring his teeth. Nicole and Michael both knew something unusual was happening. Cooper's uncharacteristic behavior and the mysterious grave hinted at a deeper story, one that they were determined to uncover, driven by their care for Cooper and the respect for the secrets that the grave might hold. Michael was taken aback by Cooper's aggressive behavior, something he had never seen before. "It is the first time I see Cooper acting like this," he said to Nicole. I think we should get some help to understand what is happening to him," she answered, worried about Cooper. He and Nicole agreed that something unusual was happening and decided to call the police for assistance. As they waited, tension filled the air, with Cooper's unwavering gaze fixed on the grave, standing guard as if he was aware of something amiss. The arrival of the police drew the villagers to the cemetery, curious about the unfolding events in their small town where news traveled fast. Cooper remained steadfast, determined to protect the grave, while the villagers whispered among themselves, speculating about the possible reasons for his behavior. The police approached, and Michael explained the situation. Noting Cooper's unusual aggression and the disturbed earth around the grave, the villagers continued to exchange theories, wondering if there could be something valuable or dangerous buried there. The officers cautiously approached the grave, trying to soothe Cooper and gain his trust. "Hey buddy, we are just trying to help here." Despite their efforts, Cooper remained uneasy, growling as if urging everyone to stay away. The scene was a blend of concern and curiosity, with everyone wondering what secret the grave and Cooper were guarding. As the police discussed the need for a court order to exhume the body and investigate the grave, they asked everyone to keep their distance for safety, especially due to Cooper's protective behavior. Nicole and Michael watched anxiously, while Cooper stayed vigilant by the grave. The village was buzzing with anticipation, everyone curious about the mystery of Nate's grave, a name unfamiliar to them. After some hours, the police received the legal go-ahead to excavate the grave. The community watched from afar, the tension palpable as the officers began digging. Cooper's agitation grew, barking continuously, his unease evident. Nicole, the only person he trusted, held him close, trying to comfort him. As the digging continued, the villagers huddled together, sharing theories and speculations. The atmosphere was thick with suspense, everyone's eyes fixed on the grave, waiting for the revelation. Cooper, the beloved village dog, continued to express his concern, his barks seeming to urge the police to be cautious and careful. The police worked diligently, mindful of the gravity of the situation and the anxious crowd. With each scoop of earth, the mystery only deepened, heightening everyone's curiosity. The villagers gathered around, whispered and speculated, the tension almost tangible. Finally, after hours of meticulous work, the officers reached the coffin. The villagers leaned in, their collective breath held in anticipation. The air grew heavier as the officers prepared to open the lid, aware of the many eyes on them and the significance of what they might find. "Let's be careful, we don't know what we're going to find here," one officer cautioned. With a shared look of determination and caution, they slowly lifted the lid, the suspense reaching its peak as everyone awaited the unveiling of the grave's secret. In this tense moment, Cooper's loud bark seemed to signal the significance of what was about to be uncovered. The villagers, gripped by fear and curiosity, waited with bated breath. Nicole and Michael shared a look of apprehension, while voices from the crowd expressed a mix of fear and eagerness to know what lay in the grave. As the coffin lid was lifted, the police officers were met with a sight that left them in shock. One exclaimed in disbelief, while another urgently called for an ambulance. The villagers exchanged fearful glances, the officers' horrified expressions only heightening the anxiety and speculation among the crowd. When the ambulance arrived, the scene reached a climax. Inside the coffin lay a young man, about 18 years old, bound and gagged, his eyes wide with terror. The discovery left the entire village of Hope Cooper stunned into silence, struggling to grasp the reality of the situation. It was a moment of disbelief, shock slowly turning into realization. "It's a miracle he's alive," someone exclaimed. "Cooper saved this boy's life. That dog is a hero." The atmosphere shifted from fear to relief and awe as the villagers embraced, shed tears, and expressed gratitude for the miraculous turn of events. The rescuers carefully removed the young man from the coffin, while the police worked to calm the crowd and maintain order. Medical professionals assessed his condition, emphasizing the need for gentle handling due to potential trauma and injuries. As the boy was placed on a stretcher, Cooper, sensing that help had arrived, finally relaxed. He hopped off Nicole's lap and stayed close to the boy's side, demonstrating his unwavering loyalty and the deep connection he felt. The village was enveloped in a mix of emotions, from shock to relief, united by the extraordinary discovery and the heroic act of a loyal dog that had brought them all together. Nicole watched everything with tears in her eyes, overwhelmed by the bravery and determination of Cooper, her friend. She couldn't help but express her gratitude out loud, praising Cooper for his incredible act of heroism. As the young man, Nate, was taken to the hospital, Cooper faithfully followed the ambulance and waited outside, showing his unwavering loyalty. The villagers were abuzz with questions. Who was the boy? Why was he buried alive? How did Cooper know he was there? The story unfolded, revealing that in a distant town, a wealthy businessman named Robert, who had built a successful technology company, had refused a dangerous gang's offer to embezzle money. In retaliation, the gang kidnapped his son Nate, demanding a huge ransom. Despite paying, the gang buried Nate alive in a grave in Hope Village and sent a photo to Robert as a chilling proof. Unbeknownst to all, Cooper had witnessed the criminal's actions. He had stayed by the grave, trying to protect Nate, doing what he felt was right. After Nate was rescued and recovered in the hospital, his father, Robert, was informed, and he rushed to the village, overwhelmed with relief and gratitude. Upon arriving, Robert was deeply moved by Cooper's devotion and wanted to adopt him, but Cooper, attached to his village and the people he loved, chose to stay. In gratitude, Robert donated a significant amount of money to the village, funding a modern community center, library, sports facilities, and a health center, aiming to improve the residents' lives. Robert's experience with Cooper also inspired him to become an advocate for animals, supporting organizations that cared for abandoned animals. Life in the village returned to normal, but the residents would always remember how Cooper, the heroic dog, saved a young man's life and brought about a change in their community. Cooper continued to be cherished and admired, a true guardian and hero of the village. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and this other story that may be appearing on the screen will most likely move you as well. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.